advertised on our website. This section was supposed to have marked the final event for the GAIAthon webinar series. But there was a presentation we had planned because it will provide some data sources. And then the confirmation, by the time we were posting this thing last week, the confirmation had not come in. So it has just come in. So this will not be our final presentation for the webinar, but this gives also another opportunity for addressing some of your queries before you submit your pitches. So next week, same time, Thursday, we'll have a presentation from Dr. Andras Zelensky, who is the trainer at the Copernicus Data Space Ecosystem. And his topic will be getting started with Copernicus Data Space Ecosystem, tackling environmental challenges in Africa with free data and processing power. The reason why we want to have this presentation is that it's very important for the solutions that some of you will be developing. So Andreas will be the person that you can ask some of your questions. And you know that today first, on the 16th, you should be submitting your pitches. Then we also have another presentation after you have submitted your pitches. And this presentation is not directly linked to the webinar competition, but it is coming from an important office. That is, it is coming from the president of the Africa Space Council. And with the recent space agency that has been established in Cairo, Egypt, last week, this is the person who will give you information about some of the opportunities for the youth to participate in the space sector. Because it is a new establishment, they will be recruiting staff, there will be collaboration with academic institutions and so many things. And this gentleman, being the president, is the one that will help us to understand a lot of things. So I will encourage you on the 20th, when he confirms, that you will listen to him. Now, to this day's webinar, it is to give you information. So it's going to be a very short session. It's to give you information and also give you opportunity to answer some of your questions. And then to note is that on the 16th of May, 2 weeks from now, we are expecting you to submit your PowerPoint pitch deck to your coordinators. We will not add any day to this deadline. Otherwise, it will affect the whole programming. So by next week, with Andrea's presentation, we'll have officially concluded with the webinar series. After that, a week after that, you submit your PowerPoint deck, which I will take you through. And then the 23rd of May following, all this information is in your folder, so you can consult it. Another information I want to bring to your attention is for you to take particular notice of the format of the presentation. So please note that we are requiring you to follow these guidelines. They are also in the folder. You have a title slide. That's one slide. You state your problem, 1 or 2 slides. How you want to solve the problem, 2 or 3 slides. How you implement it. And if you look into the folder, there are notes to each of these points. So the implementation roadmap, 2 slides. The data and methodology or technology that you will use, 1 or 2 slides. How feasible you'll be able to develop the solution and its expected impact. And then your submission, how does it align with the final submission, which also has its own guidelines in the document? And then 1 slide to conclude. Now, in your guidelines folder, number 9 is not in it. So that is why it's important we are having this conversation. For those of you doing the track 2, that is building the physical prototype to collect environmental data with IoT sensors, you have to attach an appendix of the bill of material, which will be up to $250. It doesn't mean you should go all the way to $250, from $10, $20, $100, $200, up to $250. If you go beyond it, you're disqualified. So with this bill of material, the costing, and again, we'll give you a form to fill that you confirm these items are available in your country. We don't want the situation where somebody will say, we don't have the items and I have sent a request to China to buy it and it is delaying, so I'm not able to do my work. So please note, this is very important, the appendix to the slides. So we are looking around 10 to 14 slides per team for the first round. I intentionally put this up here to point out that we need a photo of the group on the first slide. So it is indicated in the folder, the guidelines, that there's a team name, the university country, which innovation track, 1, 2, or 3, you write the full name there, the project title, your team members. So you start with John Doe, leader, Mary Doe, member, Joseph Doe, member, then your group photo. So please note that on the title slide, you have to submit a group photo. Additional information, this is the last slide. Additional information are: 1, we have discussed among the coordinators that any institution that does not have 5 successful pitches for round 1 will not qualify for the finals. What it means is this: you take University of Africa, and then we have maybe 10 teams, but only 3 or 4 teams submitted their pitch deck. They will still evaluate the pitches and select first, second, third, and give them the reward. But that university will not qualify for the next round, which is final round. And it is fair, because some universities have submitted 5 teams which qualify. And then during the pitches, only 3 of them submit. So already with 3 people going to a competition, you have first, second, third, and they win. It is not fair. Or maybe we have a university that's only 2 people submitted, and they are first and second. It is not fair. So that is, we're saying that the minimum is 5 successful pitches. Then we select the best 3. So if you're part of this activity and you don't help your institution to get the number, it means that you register for the competition, but you didn't help your institution to go to the final round. The next point that I want to bring to your attention is the social media competition that also has some prize. So please, as you are posting this competition with your storyboards and everything, don't forget to tag us, because this is the way we'll be able to evaluate who wins. And as I mentioned the first time, the social media competition, the reward is not going to the team, because we don't have a team handle. It's going to you as the individual. So when you win on LinkedIn, all the $500 is for you. It is not to be shared with your friends. So if you are in a team and the members are posting, don't forget that you also have to post on your social media handle. Again, please take note that for those of you doing the various tracks that require EO data, we have received some presentation last week from Dr. Haley Everest-King from UMETSAT on the WECU, similar to the Dunia. And next week, Andras will give us the presentation that shows the other sources of Copernicus data. So please, you don't have any excuse to say, where am I going to get my data? And because we have done this presentation, brought in the speakers, when you come to me and ask me, I need this data, I may not be able to provide you any answer because we have made that one available. And then the last point is language. We respect the languages, the diversity of the languages we have. That is, at least with the Africa Union Commission, and this is a program under the Africa Union Commission, we have to respect English, French, and even Arabic. But because of the challenges we are having, again, with the judges and their level of understanding, we said with the first round at your various universities, you can submit the PowerPoint in English or French, and it will make it easier for you, English or French, so that the coordinator and their teams will evaluate it, even if it's in French, and select the winners. But when it comes to the final round, the report you will submit, please, you will submit it in English because it's going to be assessed by international neutral judges. But your video can be in English or French because it will be easy to be watching the video with captions in English or French. So during your work, maybe you've been taking the videos and then doing your recording, it can be submitted in English or French. But please, and one thing I know is that about 90% of people who speak French speak English. So that is not an excuse though, but then we entreat you that this is the guidelines. So I think this is all that I have for you for today, because it's supposed to answer your questions more than me giving you the information. And already I have from Ingupegu that we don't have all equipment to build a smart IoT project, and my team is working on an IoT-based monitoring system. Please, what can we do to remedy this? This is a very good question. So Ingupegu, if I've pronounced your name correctly, what you will do is this. By the 16th of May, maybe you want to develop a sensor for smart agriculture. You need a particular microcontroller. You need some soil sensor, humidity sensor, temperature sensor, whatever it is. You need breadboard. You need to print your item with a 3D printer and all that. You will list all the items you need in your presentation. PowerPoint, you have not reached the stage where you are building the solution. You are submitting your proposal. So after you've described what you want to do, you attach an appendix that will list all the items and their cost. Edenway Foundation will provide you up to $250 to buy the things you need if you happen to qualify for the final round. That money will be made available to you quickly, and then you build your solution. So that is the answer to your question. We don't want to delay with that. So immediately you submit your item on the 16th, the coordinators will upload all the presentation quickly to our Google Drive, and they will quickly assess and give us the first, second, third, and we will quickly make available the funds to you. So that is in answer to your question. The chat window is open. If you want to ask your question in French, please go ahead. We have a lot of people who speak French and English. We have Dr. Mamadou Nian. So anytime you want to even ask your question in French, please go ahead and do that. We'll manage it. And even if you want to type it in French, go ahead and we'll try our best to translate it and then answer your question. So I'll be taking more questions, please. Is the first from Testimony Adediri. Is the first submission going to be like a pitch, or we are just going to submit to our coordinators? I indicated in the guidelines PowerPoint. When you go to your folder, there's the guidelines for submission. And the guidelines is what I walked you through a moment ago. Slide 1 indicates that you have to put your team name, country, university, etc. Slide 2, there is some requirement there. Please consult the folder when you click on the dashboard and you go to where we have the guidelines. Kinerinla, how will the first selection be made, online or face-to-face? Can you remind us of the documents to be sent to Edenway? What are the main points on which the teams will be assessed for the first selection? I think, with all respect, this person asking that question has not been following the webinar. That is why it has been very necessary that you attend all the webinar sessions, because this information has been given over and over and over. We're saying that on your dashboard, when you log in where you registered, at the left panel, there's a link that says GAIAthon materials. When you click on it, it will open into a Google folder. All the webinars, beside me posting it on our YouTube, they are also available there. The PowerPoint presentation are available. Where we have summary of the sessions, they are also available. In addition, there's a document called Overview of GAIAthon. It will tell you what we are doing, the investees. There is another document that says that guidelines for social media submission or posting. And there is one document that says that guidelines for GAIAthon. So in the guidelines, it is clearly stated how you will submit your pitches, which I've just shown you. I extracted that one from that guidelines, how you will submit your pitches and how we are going to assess. Maybe a slide that is done very well, we are giving you this number of marks. Your methodology, this is the marks, all totaling 100. This is what we are going to use, and your submission will be given to your coordinator. So in University of Ghana, University of Makerere, you will submit it to your coordinator. So if you don't know your coordinator, this is the time for you to know your coordinator. We will inform them for them to present themselves and emails and how you submit these things. And then they are the ones who will evaluate it at your university and select the top 3. It is not Edenway Foundation. It is your university which will assess the teams there and give us the top 3. So please, all this information is available. Sir, please, I wish to know how we are going repeating the same project that has presented during the last guy. Okay, so you participated in last year webinar and last year competition, and you developed a water quality kit, and you want to repeat the same thing. Don't forget, this is a competition. Maybe last year you won, but because this year people might also be doing water quality, you may have to improve on what you did. So there is no restriction as to the topic you want to do. 30 people can work on the same topic, but some may be better than others. So remember to put everything you need into your PowerPoint presentation to convince the coordinator that your work is better. Sir, how can I access the guidelines? I mentioned that click, if you registered, click, and then you see it on the dashboard at the left panel. Afternoon, sir, by the time you have just mentioned, the 6 weeks is the exemption. are there any exemption or maybe an extra week or maybe a few days, or it's the exact? Actually, if you look at it carefully, it is not 6 weeks because we are, I think, let me open my file and see if I can find a guideline. It says that it is from the 23rd of May to 27th of June. So it's around 5 weeks plus. And that is compulsory. We are not going to extend it by one day because if we do that, it will affect the whole program. So please, you stick to the deadlines. Good morning, Prof. I passed on work here to check the quality of image data on air pollution. It was not clear. Is there a way to improve the quality? This is part of the competition because we are using free data. So please, your innovation is Copernicus is giving us data that is not so clear because of cloud contamination, the resolution, etc. But then you came out with a type of solution that improves the imageries. This is the idea of the competition because under the Copernicus program, they've given Africa a lot. And then universities, students, industry are saying, oh, we wish we could do something more. And then you, during this innovation, your problem is this. For example, the air pollution data from Copernicus is not very good, but I am coming out with a solution to improve it. And that becomes just wonderful. I think somebody also asked some question in French that we've chosen a theme which involves identifying problems to be solved. We've chosen the problem of flooding and we'd like to know how we can proceed. Is there an outline to follow? This is a competition. So occasionally we might run a training program where some of these things can be addressed. But what we are doing is a competition. And with a competition, we don't tell you the secrets. You come with the solution and then you win an award. So this is not a training program. This is a competition. So we give everybody the fair grounding. Is there any documents available to know what are the requirements and guidelines exactly in every phase in the competition? So please, some of these questions have been raised during the webinar sessions and have been addressed. So not participating in a webinar when there's a competition goes to your disadvantage because there are a lot of things that are involved in terms of how you can proceed. Today, we are using the opportunity to take you through some of the conditions and guidelines. So for those who are not participating, they may not get this information. Then another question is, how do you manage your social networks? I'm not very clear about NOLA, your question, if you can clarify it. Hello, my question is about the team photo. If the team members are not currently in the same city, can we take pictures separately and then join them? Perfectly, yes. If they are not in the same city, be innovative. Because I'm in my third year of my degree, and since we are currently in an internship period, I'm doing my internship in a different city. So even we discussed in our first session that the first webinar that in selecting your team, sometimes be careful how you select your team. Otherwise, if you don't get the right combination, maybe they being at the same place can also create challenges. What if I come out with an idea and I realize that it exists already? Could it lead to failure of our project? Right now, we have ChatGPT, we have DeepSeek, we have Claude, we have all types of agentic AIs. Some people are paying for others and not paying for different ones. It's the same agentic AI. So if you come out with an idea, you have to ensure that your idea is better. There are different types of electric cars. Each one of them has some advantages and disadvantages. What we want you to do is that the topic you select, be very smart and convince the coordinator because it's 10 to 14 slides. You can't write so much. So how do you present it in a way that your coordinator will be convinced that your project is the best? Okay, I think completed with the questions in the chat. Please, if you want to ask any question, you can go ahead. Either raise your hand and then we allow you. This is supposed to be an information session. And I can see some coordinators also online. Please, if there are some things that are not so clear, kindly raise them so that we can address them. Jean Sol says that the winning project at the local level will be the same project to present at the final, not Ghana, at the final, yes. So at your local level or at the university level, maybe you are among the final three. The project you submitted is in the form of a PowerPoint proposal. Now you will build that solution over the 5 to 6 weeks. So it is the same topic. You cannot change that topic. So if it happens that by the 16th of May, you submitted something on time series analysis of mangrove data to advise policymakers on how to manage the mangrove, then you said, oh, I want to change it to do an IoT, you are disqualified. It is your PowerPoint that you submit that you will build the solution. You cannot change it after the 16th of May. Do we have any further questions? Because this is just to address your questions, and once you don't have any questions, there is no reason why we should prolong the meeting. So please, coordinators and participants, let us know, because after this session, we will not have any discussion to answer your questions. We will only have the 8th of May presentation by Andras, and then you'll be submitting your deck. So please ask all the questions. Some candidates enrolled in the digital platform track as if they can build an IoT system to test their web mobile app. Can they propose a list of devices in their presentation? If you are saying to propose a list of devices, it means that the items you need to build your solution. That is why we said propose the items you need, but they must not exceed $250. And they must be items that are available in your country. And it is not a third-party solution. It is a solution that you are building in an open source manner. Eugene says that in case we succeed and are to go to Ghana, should we be ready with the passports, or is there a way? For all the ECOWAS countries, you don't need a visa. From Kenya, you don't need a visa. And I think some few countries that Ghana allows for free, visa-free travel. But in case you are coming from a country that you need a visa, you realize that after the final submission, I think somewhere in May or so, when we are evaluating, we have given ourselves, I think the final announcement of the local winner is the 1st of July in your country or your university. And then we have given ourselves up to 6 weeks to be able to contact the representative of the team if they need visa, because we have to also get tickets and everything. So I think that is why we don't want to change the timetable. So we are sure that we can expedite your travel to Ghana. Now, so you said, or a small spatial zone. I think that follows another question you have asked. Uh, as the time is small to propose solution, can we choose a large spatial zone? This is part of the challenge. If you go to the guidelines, it says that the problem you want to solve you should be able to solve it within that period. So if your solution is to build the next type of electric car using equipment that costs less than $250, will you be able to build that within the time frame? If the coordinator evaluates your PowerPoint pitch and realize that your whole write-up is beautiful, but you will not be able to carry it out within that time frame, you will score 0 at that point. So please, it is up to you to select the right area you can handle effectively. In a situation where the prototype of your solution seems like it's going to be expensive, are you automatically disqualified? I've said this over and over that if your solution is above the stated budget, is a disqualification. If you submit a budget of $500, you are automatically disqualified because we will not be able to pay at that threshold. The maximum spatial coverage on the project should cover at least how many kilometers squared. We will not define that for you. You are competing and coming with a solution. You will determine what you want to do, why you are doing what you are doing, and how impactful it will be. It is part of the competition. So there are some guidelines we will not give. The passport to travel to Ghana will be provided by the foundation or it will be provided by ourselves. So in every competition, it's your travel. So for those of you who are competing and you'll be the person when you win to travel and you don't have a passport, Edenway Foundation will not provide you with a passport. Which criteria are you using to disqualify anyone in terms of budget? In terms of budget, if you go beyond $250. Number two, if the items you list in your appendix, the coordinator evaluates and realizes that you have listed some items, but those items have nothing to do with the solution you profess to develop, you will not get marks. So it is not a matter of disqualification. It is just that if they are giving some marks for, please, you have to consult the guidelines. If we are giving marks, let's say 20 marks for providing the right items for your solution, and then maybe you are doing something that does not require any IoT sensor, and then you provide an appendix, automatically it gives the impression that you might not know what you are doing. So please, everything that you need to be able to handle these things have been provided in the guidelines. That is why we give ourselves this period of the webinar. If you have any question apart from what we are addressing here, please send that question to info@edenwayfoundation.com. So we keep emphasizing this, that between the time that we open the competition and then we are having this webinar, it is to address your questions. In some competition, the moment they start, they assume you know everything. That is why we have extended the period, because some of you are writing exams, doing report work, etc. We don't want to take all of your time. That is why we have spread this activity. So please take note of that. I don't see any more question in the window.
Hello. Hello,
yes,
Prof.
Please go
Good
ahead.
Afternoon. Good
Yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, I would just like to clarify something. All the teams, assuming we have 5 teams in a school now, for the submission of the pitches, the initial pitches, are all the 5 teams going to submit to you as or just submit at the local level? It's only the 3 that will get to the final stage. That's what I want to confirm.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. So what we're saying is this, that at the first round, maybe you have 5 teams or 15 teams. All the teams will submit directly to the coordinator. So the coordinators will indicate to the teams that please submit it to this Google Drive, or because you are in the same university, you are close to each other. So you identify the best way to receive the pitches on time. And to be fair, we'll also be monitoring that people don't bring in their pitches after the 16th of May. And immediately you receive the pitches, you will then tell Edenway Foundation that this is the repository of our pitches. Then we will go there and download so that we will ensure fairness. But we will not evaluate. You will evaluate at that level and select your best three. When you have selected your best three, and then they have gone through the process of the 5 weeks and they have developed their solutions, at that level, you will be the same coordinator to select the first, second, and third. Or as we discussed the last time, maybe the best three are in different tracks. So it means that you find the best way to determine which solution outranks everybody at your institution. From there, we will take over and take the winner from your university, collect their pitch. And the guidelines are also available for the finals. Collect their pitch, and then we'll send them to the independent evaluators in the different countries, and then they will then come and tell us the overall winner. But all these winners will come to Accra. Now, a very good friend of mine from Tunisia, Dr. Maimuna, says, as coordinators, can we help students with IoT devices, such as providing them with a common gateway to send data to the cloud? Okay, this is what is going to happen. At the local level, please take note. This is a competition. We will not have too much control at the local level. So in case you, of course, maybe there's a gateway, you provide them access, but they do all the work. But in case in the university, the intention is to help them win. And then you give them more assistance than necessary and they win. Don't forget, at the international level, the independent assessors will also engage in a one-on-one, let's say, question and answer time to ascertain whether these people really did the work themselves. So it depends on the level of support. For example, there's a problem with internet connectivity, and then you make it available, or there is a high performance computer and you give them access. These are all okay, but we will leave the level of support to the institution. That is why the first round, the competition is among the teams in that university. So that if you are giving support, it's fair across board. Ahmed Same, I'm doing a project in the digital platforms and interactive application track. What will be the maximum budget? Ahmed, we've answered this thing over and over and over. Is in the guidelines. The maximum budget is $250. Can we use QGIS for the cartographic work we have to do, or should we only use Workio? Workio provides you access to data processing power and all that. If you have QGIS, you are comfortable. Yes. If there are people want to use ArcGIS, they have the license. People want to write their own script to do the processing. Whatever you want to do, take note that you are giving us information that will help IoT, EO, smart systems. And you being a winner will help you. We have been told by an organization, and we will confirm later, that the winners will be given additional support, either internship in another country, or but we will announce all these things when everything is finalized. So there are a lot of interest from various sources coming in that we will confirm when the time comes. When is the foundation sharing t-shirt for social media competition? We gave all the coordinators the resource to provide the teams with the t-shirts at the beginning of the competition. So if you have not received it, please contact your coordinator. Some institutions have printed their t-shirt, taking pictures and all that. So please, we have done that from the beginning. Once again, the budget is to cover prototype building before now fully deployment or what. Your budget in your proposal is to give an indication of what you need to build the solution at the final round. So in your PowerPoint, if you are going to build a sensor that monitors something, you add in the appendix the items you need, how much it will cost, and when you qualify at that level, you buy those items with the maximum amount we will give you. I think no more questions. I think this brings clarity to this whole program then, since I am not seeing anybody's hand up or any question in the window, meaning that everybody is on the same level. You are all satisfied. You are all going to support your institution to qualify for the next round. So please don't disappoint your institution. As we are working as teams, if anyone is not contributing the project, what should we do? So you are the leader. You selected the people you want to work with. As a leader and somebody is just tagging along, please, you can have a discussion with your coordinator. And then as a leader, in a democratic way, the decision you have to take. So please, all of you, try your best to support your team leaders so that it will be wonderful. Internship opportunities for winners will be superb. I know that because what we are doing, if we get this thing going very well, it provides us the additional support to do it again. When we did it last year, institutions have trusted us to do it again. Maybe next year they may ask us that we should only bring the top teams to do. We don't know. So if you commit to this, it will lead to bigger things. So I will encourage all of you. And it is through this that some of you will build your startups. You'll get some investment because in Accra, from the 18th to the 21st, that we are doing the final event and award, we are bringing top guys from different organizations. And if they feel that what you are doing is so great, that investment will go to you, not to Edenway Foundation. So we are trying to give opportunities to as many people as possible. I think we plan to do a 45-minute session and then it's minutes to the end. If I don't see any more hands up, I want to bring this discussion to a close and to inform you that please, for those of you who have been asking about EO data, next week, Andras Zelensky will be presenting to also inform you other sources of data that you can use. And there is an opportunity if you have some topic in your head, you can just run it around such a person. You can get some ideas for your solution. And on that note, I would like to thank all of you for today. Somebody is saying, so as a winner of the $5,000 is to implement the project or personal use. The $5,000 is for you and your team. But we discussed in the first session that we will only give $5,000 if all the participants who are in the final round are doing the same track. So it happens that at the final round, all the 16 winners are working on IoT. Then there's a 5,000. But if some are working on track 1, track 2, track 3, then we will evaluate the various tracks and give them the maximum award because the maximum for the event is a total of $9,000 plus other means. Don't forget that you win and you get a ticket to come to Accra and then sightseeing and the per diem all adds up to, and then exposure, and then citation by the African Union for recognition. When it goes on your CV, this is also another wonderful thing beyond money. So thank you all very much. The discussion for today will be posted on the YouTube channel for your consumption. Let me take this final one to be fair. So let's say I have a team registered, but we lack a skill set. Do you allow ghost workers? Well, that is why we left a lot of things at the local level. So it's the coordinators, when they are evaluating and they are asking questions, they will know who did what before they pass to us. So a lot of things are left at the local level. And because I'm seeing a lot of thank you, I also want to thank you and bring this meeting to a close. Everybody stay blessed, and let us see everybody next week, Thursday at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much.